everybody, it's Julie. I am here using the Come Boldly Faith Art Collection for the month of February, and I'm journaling in my pocket Bible, which is from Zondervan, and I will link all of the products that I've used. I'm going to be using the Faith Art Box, the physical kit, as well as probably some of the digitals that I have printed off. I'm going to be using some of our Creative Retreat ink pads, not sure which ones yet. This gorgeous washi. I've pulled out a few pens, watercolor brush markers, as well as an India ink, and also some acrylic paint. So I'm doing a bit of a mixed media approach here on this page, and I am here in Hebrews chapter 4, verse 16, which is the key verse for this devotional. Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. And I love the invitation and how Jesse in the devotional focused on the words "let us then" and how that is an invitation. So I'm going to highlight that. I'm going to use some stamps and, like I said, stickers, watercolors. We're doing a mixed media page here. All right, I'm going to go ahead and get us on fast forward and get started. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to take this packaging that had the stamp set in it. I'm going to use the plastic for the outside and to do some smushing, and I'm also going to use that cardstock. Now I'm starting off with one of the Tango dual brush markers in a light color, and it's just not quite dark enough. So now I am switching gears, and I'm using the Foxglove ink pad from Creative Retreat Kits. I applied some onto, you can see me doing it here, some of the ink onto the packaging and then wet it with the paintbrush. And then I just pick that up and smush it on the page. Now I'm going to use this. This is one of the Pitt Big Brush markers in, I think it's color 132, but I will have it marked in the description box. And I did the same thing, some smushing. It was a nice pink color that matched the pink in the washi tape. And here I have pulled out the stencil that went with the Higher Ways collection. Now, I don't think the stencil is still available by itself, but it is still available. The Higher Ways Faith Art Box is still available. So you can get, if you don't have it already, this stencil. It's a nice wonky diamond tiles. I just love it. Because I'm using this idea of the throne room, approaching God's throne, and the fact that He is the King, He is the sovereign, He sits on a throne. This diamond tile just had kind of a royal feel for me, so that's why I used it with some acrylic paint. It was some Target shimmery paint. And now I'm going to use that cardstock, and I'm going to stamp a throne that I'm going to cut out. I am using the Foxglove, which is a nice purple color, and I'm inking that up. Because it was the first time I used this stamp, I rubbed it on my hand, rubbed it with an eraser, did all kinds of things just to kind of rough it up a little bit, and that helps it to pick up the ink. Now I'm applying a couple of different colors to that cross. I was going to see if the cross might look good on the throne in this pink color, but I think black just works best. I first used Tango Mango, and then I came over it with the Cotton Candy ink pad color. And that really matches the pink in the set. So I'm cutting those two things out. Now I'm going to use the washi tape to frame my page on the top and the bottom. Then I'm going to use this beautiful washi also to anchor my elements, the different words and the word Fetty and just various things. So you can see there, I'm just applying it on the top and the bottom of the page. It's such a beautiful, beautiful washi tape. Now I'm here again in the book of Hebrews chapter 4 verse 16, and it says, "Let us then approach God's throne of grace with confidence so that we may receive mercy and find grace to help us in our time of need. I love how the devotional focused on that invitation. Let us approach, let us come to him, let us come boldly, let us seek him, let us receive him. It is an invitation for us, and we're not worthy to approach him, but because of the sacrifice that he made for us, he allows us to come. He invites us to come. He welcomes us. So that's what I'm stamping here. I'm using the Lucy stamp set, and for some reason I cannot locate my E. So instead I'm using the F, and I'm going to just use my pen and add the little branch at the bottom right there. You can see it. And I'm also going to embellish these letters a little bit with some outline with that Pitt big brush markers, some of the color, and then my fine liner. So you'll see how I do that later on. I'm cleaning it up a little bit where I had some stray marks with my white gel pen. The white gel pen acts kind of like whiteout. It's great for that. I felt like this needed a black outline a little bit, this throne that I've cut out. So I'm taking my black big brush marker and I'm just outlining it. Probably could have just applied it, go ahead and stuck it down and then outlined it with my pen, but oh well, this worked. Now I'm adding some of the Word Fetty stickers from the decor sticker sheet. And here's where I'm anchoring them with just a torn piece of the washi tape. And I like doing this so that my elements don't seem like they're just floating in thin air. I will also bring in some of the wonky hearts, and I'm really mindful of making sure that all of my elements seem anchored. They're touching another item, something like that, so they just don't float in the mid-space. So here we go. I'm now using the alpha tiles, the little stickers. I love this size, and I'm spelling out with the alpha stickers and the Word Fetty. It's going to say, let us then approach with confidence, and I stamped the ampersand, and receive, and then I'm going to stamp now the words grace and mercy, and then I use the other little and sign in the stamp set, and I stamped that off onto some cardstock in that lavender color, the Foxglove, and then I punch that out as well, and that just gives a little more dimension and texture to the whole page, and it matches the chair. And then the little and sign on the inside of it, it was hard to see in the white, so I go over it with the black, and then that brings in some continuity with the black cross on the throne. Now I'm adding some of the wonky hearts, and here I take this tab and I stamp the word boldly on it. I'm going to put that up at the top, and that little cross that I cut out. And it is because of the cross that we can be bold. Now, because it's sticky on the back, I just punch out some cardstock, a tab, and then where it's still exposed, I use my EK Success powder tool, and I'm outlining my elements here with a fine liner, a fine point pen, and outlining the elements helps them to pop off the page, helps them to stand out against the lighter color background. Now, I have a real hard time for some reason today with my date stamp, getting it to work, and so I end up just applying those alpha stickers, those little alpha tiles, to spell out February 1st, which is the date that I created this project. Now, let me apologize. I am not sure why my picture frame is square like this. It's a little unusual. I don't know what it's about, but we're going with it. It was just one of those days. It's been one of those months, ladies and gentlemen. I'm grateful that God is always with us. And when we deal with tough times, He's strengthening us. He's reminding us that we can approach Him. He's always near. The context of this passage, it's talking about how Jesus is our high priest and He is our sacrificial lamb. So because of that, we can be in the presence of God. God's perfect character of love and justice shine through, and we are welcomed part of that relationship. So it's a beautiful truth. Let us then approach God. You can see here where I'm adding in the detailing of those letters. It adds just a little more texture. I'm going over a couple of the other words with my fine liner, my zebra mild liner, the fine tip pen, the highlighter, and just again adding a little bit more detailing. Those little details can just add texture and fun and some creativity to a page. So that is gonna do it. You'll see some close-up shots here in the end credits. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. If you have any comments or questions, then leave them in the comment section. I will have all the products that I've used linked in the description box. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks. Bye-bye.